Hello and welcome to Boozy Book Reports, a simple podcast where we revisit childhood classics whilst drinking copious amounts of alcohol. We're your hosts, Beth
and Sam.
And this month we're reporting on Casey and the Utterly Impossible Horse, first published in 1960. I'm so excited. So you might be like, Beth, 1960. Well, my mom read this story to me all the time.
Okay, I wondered where this came from because I've never heard of this book.
Yeah. I didn't realize, it's not even on the map radar, really.
Yeah.
I just remember being a little kid, and every night my mom would read to me. And so we'd always read these little chapter books that were super simple.
Mm-hmm.
And I just remember her reading this over and over. And I thought the lore was that this was her book growing up.
Yeah.
But I realized it was 1960. My mom would have been 10 when it was published. And she was just like, no. And so I called her and I was like, Mom, where did this book come from? She's like, it wasn't my book. She's like, I think that I found it at like a thrift store or a yard sale when you were a kid. And I just got it for you. And we would just read it. And
how did you, well, actually, we can talk about this. I think I now know why you are not a horse girl.
I do too. But as I was reading it, I did not have any memories of this book really. Mm-hmm. However, it was like muscle memory for giggles. I'm giggling like a little child in bed. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Especially based on the story.
Because this story is buck wild.
It's so buck wild. And I was like, oh my gosh, this kind of explains a lot and what I like and what I find interesting.
Yeah.
But anywho, before we get into the details of this fantastical book, Sam made us some very beautiful drinks.
Oh, yeah.
One I think is really nice and the other one I'm kind of bitter at.
Sorry. So, we'll start with the bitter one. This is another riff on an old fashioned, but it's not actually technically an old fashioned because you don't stir it in the glass. Mm-hmm. Because it has lemon juice in it, so you actually shake it. So this is a bourbon renewal, and I thought horses, Kentucky Derby, bourbon, that was sort of like the attachment for this one. I've also been wanting to do this cocktail. It has creme de cassis in it, which is a black currant liqueur, and I think it's kind of like springy. It's like tangy, berry, yummy. I like it a lot. So we're gonna have bourbon renewals. Yeah,
I'm so
gird
excited.
your loins. Oh, it's freaking delicious.
It's better than an old fashioned.
It's a summer old fashioned.
It tastes sweeter.
Oh, it's so good.
I mean, yeah, it's an alcohol.
It's an alcohol that I would continue to drink. I could porch pound this.
I was going to say it's a porch pounder for sure.
Yeah.
It's actually, I'm going to say this, it's really kind of good.
I'm going to make it again.
I'm not jumping on the old fashioned train, but this one's pretty good.
No, it's good. I think it's like a bourbon lemonade with cassis in it. It's good.
Yeah, it's yummy.
Yeah, I would drink the crap out of that. That one's good. I've been waiting to make this one. I've really wanted to make it for a while.
Yeah.
I had it picked up for another book, but
I actually appreciate it. I'm rolling my eyes because I do not want to give any inkling that I like old fashions just because I've been burnt in the past.
Technically, it's not an old fashioned. It's just a bourbon drink, and it's technically actually, I think, a riff on it's actually like a sour.
Oh, perfect.
Because it has the lemon juice and the.
I know what that is. Yeah. Well, I have a question though. Why don't you shake it or why don't you stir it if it has lemon in it versus shaking it?
I don't actually
Does it
know.
do something?
Maybe Scott might know. My brother-in-law might know. But I think you just get better mixing.
Oh, okay.
You don't need. I know there's some stuff about that, about shaken not stirred.
Mm-hmm.
You typically actually shook to really dilute crappy liquor.
Oh, okay.
And so actually you should stir some martinis, unlike what James Bond was asking for. But it was a sort of a byproduct of the time with crappy vodka or crappy gin.
Okay.
But I'm not exactly sure why you shake it with lemon. But I like this drink.
It's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's super refreshing.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have a strong afterburn.
No, it's really nice. It actually has quite a bit of bourbon in it.
Mm-hmm.
It has 2 ounces, so. Yeah. Well, and then the second one we have, because he has an orange and white pajama set, which factors into the book. I kept thinking about those orange and white creamsicle candies that occasionally you have at work.
Oh gosh, from
those,
Lifesavers.
The finest 90s candy that existed.
Oh my gosh, I get it at the dollar store every once in a while. And I'm I'm class. Those were classy
really
AF
was
back in the 90s.
Classy ass candy in the 90s. Well, so I was like, I'm going to look, and I found an orange creamsicle cocktail. So hopefully this is good.
Okay, so what's in this one?
There's heavy cream, vanilla vodka, or you can use whipped cream vodka. There's triple sec freshly squeezed orange juice, and I think that's it.
Okay. It definitely tastes like...
Oh.
It definitely tastes like it.
It needs more orange flavor.
Yeah. Like you get a nice hint of it at the beginning.
Yeah.
Like this creamy, and then it kind of...
This one we could experiment with a little bit. I should experiment more. Like, full disclosure, I should experiment more before I like just throw together a cocktail in my head or find things. But
it's fine.
This one, I like it, but
it's not bad. But just a smidge more orange. It's super refreshing too, though. I'm not going to go too heavy on this because I'm the lactose intolerant one.
Same. I'm also intolerant.
Okay, so it's like I'm like this could go bad, but it's good. It's good.
I like it too. That one would be like a good, maybe like if you put in like a little bit of sherbet.
Yes,
that might do
it up. Yeah,
yeah.
I have to say the recipes are going to be on our TikTok, which Sam, it's amazing. We're almost TikTok famous. And by famous, I mean, I don't know. I think we have 40 followers, so we're moving up in the world.
Kind of a big deal.
We're kind of a big deal. Like you go look at our videos and you're like, oh my gosh, they have more than a few hits, and it's like, yeah, guys, we're headed up for an alcohol sponsorship soon.
Yeah, if you know an alcohol company that wants to sponsor two
ladies sitting around talking about old books
and making cruddy cocktails, I don't know.
You're welcome. Okay, so I'm kind of really excited about this book, but so people kind of know what we're talking about. Yeah, Sam's going to read the back of the book, which is not extensive. This isn't like a 60-page book or 70-page book. So.
Yeah, I think I finished it in maybe like an hour and a half.
Yeah,
It's very quick. When Mike finds a horse near his house, he is in for a big surprise. Not only can this horse talk, he wants everyone to notice him too. Who is that animal in the orange-striped pajamas? Why, it's Casey, the utterly impossible horse.
It's so impossible. This horse. It's kind of funny. Like, talking horses were a thing for a minute. Like Mr. Ed.
Did you watch Mr. Ed growing
I watched
up?
Mr. Ed
in reruns.
Mr.
Ed.
A horse is a horse, of course, of course. Yeah. I don't know why I love that show, but I did. It was really good
Mr.
times.
Ed was a cheeky little dude.
This guy's so cheeky.
Okay, he's more than cheeky. He's like emotionally manipulative.
As I was reading, like, this is where I learned it from. So
this is why you like Vanderpump Rules.
Absolutely.
This is 100% reality TV.
I'm like gaslighty
horse.
Yes. So there's this kid, Mike, who's just out in the world looking for rocks.
Yeah.
And he stumbles across this horse that's just like chilling. And he's like, the horse starts talking to him, which already, that's a fantabulous day. I just like Mike's reaction. He's like, I'm surprised the horse is talking to me, kind of thing.
Yeah, because if a horse talked to me, I'd be like, ah.
Yeah, I'd be like,
holy shit.
It's happened. I've had the mental breakdown.
Somebody dosed me.
Somebody dosed me something. Alice. I'm just like, oh, those were not the mushrooms I thought they were, kind of thing.
I thought it was a shiitake. Oops.
Oopsie. I love that this horse, though, he was like waiting for the school bus because he's kind of waiting to find his person.
Yeah, he's looking for a boy.
And he says that.
Yeah.
Like, Mike's kind of like, hey, you can come be my pet. And he's like, no, you'll be my boy. And it's even in the book, it's kind of like in italics. Yeah. And I'm just like, that is so freaking creepy.
Yeah.
Just was like, oh, I think I love this book.
I think I did write like LOL to that point, like, because it was funny.
Yeah.
It did make me think a little bit at the beginning of, did you ever read C.S. Lewis's A Horse and His Boy?
No.
So it's a talking horse story that's set in the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. That was the first one I read. It's in that universe.
Yeah.
And it's about a guy and a talking horse, and he rides around and fixes stuff around a kingdom. And I totally thought, I was like, oh, it's like A Horse and His Boy, because it's like kind of the same vibes. But
does it shift? I feel like it might have shifted.
Yeah. Well, this horse is also like maybe also a drag queen.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Such a drama queen.
So much drama. Well, the first thing the horse is like, what's your name? He's like, my name's Mike. And like Mike's like, what's your name? He's like, I don't know. What should it be? Maybe Mike. And Mike's like, no, that's my name. And then he's like, Mike had shared that he has an older sister named Gloria. And so the horse like, maybe it should be Gloria. He's like, no.
That's a girl's name. You can't be Gloria, which obviously he could be Gloria.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. And then he's like, what about Kitty? I'm just like, what are you doing? And then Mike's like, no, you can't be Kitty. What did he call him? Kitty?
Kitty Cat.
Kitty
and
Cat.
that's how he got KC. It was short for Kitty Cat.
Kitty Cat. So this is not Casey, the utterly impossible. It's Kitty Cat. So
He's
that
like,
is
that is
officially a drag name.
It's your world.
So Mike takes this talking horse home and he just puts it in his garage, which as a person that was not horsey, I feel like that is not an appropriate space for a horse.
I mean, to be fair, barns are kind of like garages. If you put down some hay and stuff, it's not so different.
Okay. I just feel like this wasn't the vibe though, because it's like his dad parks the car in there and like I'm just picturing like tools and
but also, but I mean, at this point, the horse is talking.
Yeah.
So
we're
it's
in a different kind
is
of
the least of their concerns.
Yes,
they're like they live in the
absolutely.
suburbs, and he took a horse home.
And it was so great because he like runs up to his sister and like you're never gonna believe it.
Yeah.
And first of all, Casey's not really into the girls.
Okay. Did you? Is there art in your book?
There is art in my book.
Because I literally wrote bombastic side eye because he looks so pissed off.
So
when he's like suggests that like Mike suggests maybe Casey would want to be nice to his sister Gloria, and he's giving like little bitch side eye.
He's like absolutely
no,
not.
I don't like girls.
Nope, not here for it.
I'm here for boys. I don't like girls. Please take your girl somewhere else. And girls never say what they really mean, do they? Not until they've said two other things first. What a bitch.
What a super bitch.
It's like kind of a sexist ass, but also just bitchy.
The whole, just so much sass the whole ride.
Again, bombastic side eye.
I love it because so then the dad comes home and
Yeah.
they're like, Dad, we found a horse. Can we have it? And the parents are kind of like, somebody's come look for it. Maybe we put up the horse a couple days.
Yeah, we'll call the ASPCA.
Yeah.
That felt like actually the most reasonable thing anybody said in this whole book.
Yes.
Maybe somebody's missing a talking horse. We'll call the shelter.
Which the horse does not talk to adults, only to specific children. Which
that was actually like really funny because he was like, I don't talk to grown-ups.
Yeah.
And the kid Mike was like, oh, that's cool. My mom would actually prefer that.
again, this book is so unhinged in the best ways possible, at least to me.
He's so bitchy though. He's also a little emotionally manipulative.
100%.
He's so needy.
So this is back in the day. Mike worked very hard for his money, and he goes to the grocery store with his mom and decides he's going to buy some sugar cubes for the horse.
To give this horse. And
Casey's reaction. Mike's like, guess what? I got you like a gift. And look, I got you some sugar. And Casey's like, I hate sugar. And Mike's like, you couldn't hate sugar. And he's like, and it says in the book, he's beginning to feel a little bit angry. I'm like, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And Mike's like, have you ever had any? And Casey's like, no, but I know I hate it.
This is literally a conversation I've had with my husband multiple times about food, where I'm like, do you want to try this? No, I don't like this. Have you had this? No. I just know I don't like it. And then usually this is where I melt down and say, just put it in your mouth and try it.
Yep.
And then you don't have to have another bite.
Yep. And then it's like, oh, I love this new thing.
Yeah, it turns out loves chili.
Oh.
Favorite.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hated chili. Well, hated the concept of chili.
I can understand hating the concept of a certain food.
I cannot.
Like a texture or something.
No, everything is worth trying. Put everything in your mouth once.
Okay. I'm going to say no to that. You could get some real danger.
That's true.
That's what the plant lady taught me.
Several food poisonings.
Yes. I remember there were some kids at school one day and they were eating mushrooms that they were growing in the grass. Yeah. They were fine. They were like not poisonous ones, but I think they learned a valuable lesson that day. So did Casey, though, because he learned he loved sugar and he wanted to eat it all. And Mike's like, no, we got to save it because...
He's like, maybe we don't.
Maybe give it to me. And he's like, but Mike's like, it costs a lot of money. And he's like, go make more money.
Yeah.
And then like, what?
And then he gaslights him. He's like, I don't think you're nice.
Yeah.
Give me the sugar or I don't think you're nice.
It's like, this horse is insane. And I loved every freaking minute of him just like being so manipulative and gaslighty.
The whole time I was like, this horse is a dick. This is Casey, the utterly emotionally manipulative horse.
He literally stomps his foot. Like he'll literally like, I don't know. It's just, it's so freaking ridiculous.
This is honestly the source of your love of reality
Oh
TV.
my gosh. There's this point where Mike's like, gee whiz, Casey, you just don't understand. I mean, this poor little boy that's just found this magical horse and thinks he won the jackpot and is finding out really quick he's not.
So I liked frankly, I did like the juxtaposition between bitchy voiced Casey and then basically, little like Leave It to Beaver or what's the show with Andy Griffith's show. Yeah. Like he's like, gee whiz, sir, you're and then Casey's like, whatever. I'm a bitch.
I'm a bitch. Give me what I want.
I want the sugar cube and I want it now. Yeah. Otherwise, I'm going to tell everybody what an asshole you are.
Yes. It's the best thing is like right after that, the horse goes completely delulu and is like, I want striped pajamas.
Make them for me. Gloria, I hate you, but make me these pajamas.
Literally, Casey, so just after the sugar craze, Casey's like, I know what I want.
Yeah.
I want striped pajamas. And I just love Mike so much. He's like, good grief, Casey. Horses don't wear pajamas. And he's like, he literally like gaslights him, like not gaslights. He literally like just goes after him. He's like, I've never had a pair of strap pajamas in my whole life. You never do anything I want. And a tear fell.
Crying ex-horse.
Yeah. Again, the most manipulative horse ever.
I imagine this horse being voiced by like John Mulaney.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Like stiff. Like, they would just be like full John Mulaney voice. Just being like,
well, and so Mike has to go to his sister who likes to sew, which is very of the age. And so they finally, he had to kind of like not bribe her, but like convince her that this was important.
Convince her that this horse that tells her that he hates women,
she should do a solid for her.
This asshole horse.
Oh my gosh.
Do you know what this also kind of I wrote this down in here. Did you ever see the Key and Peele skit with Megan? Megan is basically like this very kind of abusive lady who's like, I want it. And she has this like voice. She's like, no. And then the guy's always like, Megan, no, it's fine. And she's like, meh. This is literally like the Key and Peele skit, but just like with a horse.
I freaking love it. Yes. I just think it's the best thing because like Gloria has real concerns over how much fabric it's going to take.
Do you know how expensive fabric is?
It's freaking crazy.
It's wild.
I'm trying to reupholster some chair seats. Yeah. Mind you, not even chairs.
That's like a couple, maybe 2 yards.
Yeah. And I'm just like dying.
Yeah.
Like, for what I want.
Especially upholstery. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe they could get some cheap like quilting cotton on the.
Yeah.
But like still,
I love it because Gloria is like, I don't even have any money to buy it. I mean, I'm saving up for a record, and that's going to take another week's allowance, which I think that's so cute. Like saving up for an album. Like, did you ever do that when you were a kid? Like save up for a music CD or?
I did. I saved up for my boombox. I worked for I wanted a boombox, and so I worked for my mom for like part of summer and like spring vacations, so I could like get enough money to buy the boombox at Sam's Club, and then it was it was my CD player boombox all until I was a senior. And then my parents bought me a CD player like stereo system, which is still actually in my office.
Oh, that's cool.
I still have it.
Oh, I love that.
It's like the one I use when I sew.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Well, what's not cool is like as Gloria's like telling Casey how much time it's going to take and what she's going to have to do, he's like, talk. I've never had any pajamas in my whole life, and you don't even care.
Gosh, Casey, it isn't it. I can make you a little thing. He's like, I don't want a thing. I want pajamas.
So unhinged.
Just two kids manipulated by an abusive ass horse.
I just love too. He's like, then he began to cry, and he turned his back on the kids and started bumping his head against a lawnmower. Like, just crazy.
Okay, I do have a question about this book. Who is this book for?
I don't know, but I kind of, again, I freaking love it. It's just like, I haven't read very many books from this era, but of the children books that we have read, I'm just like, this is it for me. This is like,
I just kept thinking, who is this book for, and what the hell is going? This woman hates horses. This author, Anita Feagles here, hates horses.
I read a little bit about her. She passed away in like 2000 and it was like 8 or 14. I apologize, I can't remember. But she was like, she had like a bunch of kids and grandkids and great grandkids, and she had like her master's degree, and she just wrote books. And I was trying to find a picture of her, but again, just not of the time. But the lady that illustrated this book, Dagmar Wilson, was a big protester of like the nuclear war and bombs, and she did all these protests and stuff, and then drew art for these kids' books. And I'm like, all right, ladies,
this is like a kind of a wild.
I'm like, I'm here for it. So Finally, Casey wears them down, and Gloria's like, well,
because he's threatening to like self-harm.
Yeah. Self-harm and destroy their father's property.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
It's perfect.
It's very bad. It's very abusive.
So they go downtown with Gloria's record money.
Yeah. And pick out orange stripe material.
Uh-huh. So then they have this whole thing where they're like trying to make a pattern on a horse, which...
Look at this cheeky asshole being like, oh, I got these kids to do what I wanted.
Exactly. The illustrations in this book are chef's kiss for sure. Like they're just perfect.
Maybe we should, I don't know, is that against copyright if we put the bombastic side-eye picture up?
We'll modify it enough that it'll be fine.
I did write bombastic side-eye on the picture.
One, yes. So as Gloria's trying to like, again, this poor girl that's only sewn an apron is now having to make pajamas, which pants are hard. A button-up thing is hard.
Yeah.
The kids of the neighborhood are all coming around.
Yeah.
To watch.
Yeah.
It's just like a mess.
And this is like, I think this is the start of the diva.
Oh.
Of Casey, the diva.
The diva. So he gets his pajamas and he's like unstoppable at this point. Mike gets invited to his friend's house, which at this point, Casey's taking up all their time.
Yeah.
And he hasn't really been hanging out with his friends and doing stuff. He misses his
friends even a little.
And it's a friend's birthday. And it's like, hey, like I'm going to my friend's birthday. See you later, basically. And of course, Casey's like, will they have cake, hats, and balloons? And Mike's like, yeah. And he's like, nothing's more fun than a birthday party. Just like, oh my gosh. It just reminds me of like people I've had in my life that will like casually like try to invite themselves to things that you're doing.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
That sounds fun.
That's cool.
When's that?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm free.
Yeah. It's like, no, you're not invited, weirdo. But the weirdo comes to the birthday party in his striped pajamas.
And everybody thinks it's cute as fuck. And the children are annoyed.
Yeah.
Gloria and Mike.
Gloria and Mike are like over it officially.
Yeah.
And he demands a balloon. So they have to tie a balloon to his tail.
Yes.
And it's just everybody's like, can we ride him? And like Mike's like, he's not gonna like that because Casey said before, I'm not here to be your sled bitch. You know, like he said that to Gloria because she was like, hey, you could take us all on rides. And he's like, how would that be fun for me?
Yeah.
She's like, because the kids would be having fun. He's like,
I don't give a shit about the kids.
I don't care about children.
Instead, he's like whispering in Mike's ear the whole time, like, maybe Casey would like a balloon.
And poor Mike looks insane because nobody else can hear this horse and he's just like getting embarrassed and
can
flustered.
I get my horse a balloon? And then everybody's kind of going along with it. But like Casey's just like, whispering in his ear, like, maybe Casey wants a piece of cake.
Yeah.
Maybe Casey wants
maybe Casey wants a hat. Maybe Casey wants a this.
He's in third person.
It's so wild. So they get through the party and they get home. And literally they get back to the garage and Mike says, Casey, I wish you wouldn't do that again. And Casey's like, don't be silly. They thought I was adorable.
He's like, I am a delight.
I'm
that
amazing.
is his absolute, like, that's his response to this. It's like, I'm a delight and everyone loves me.
Yeah. And Mike's like, well, I wish you wouldn't have asked for X, Y, and Z. And Casey's like, well, I'm really surprised at you, Mike, because that would be rude. That would be rude if I didn't do those things.
Exactly. That would be weird if I didn't participate in this party.
Yeah. And he's like, by the way, I hope you stop fussing. It's a bad habit of yours. Excuse you. Excuse you.
So rude.
And I love this. Mike looked at Casey. He couldn't think of anything to say. He went back inside. I'm just like, God.
This is literally just watching. Like, have you ever had a friend that like dated somebody who wasn't awesome? And like, this is watching this relationship crumble.
Yeah.
This is when you're watching your friend fall apart because their partner is like a dick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Casey is that dick.
Casey's such a dick.
So a few days go by. I think Mike's kind of getting to where he's like, I don't know about this.
Yeah.
And
Casey's become the guest who overstays a little bit.
Very much so.
Yeah.
And so he goes to Mike and gently is like, hey, I'm not going to be here later because my mom and I are having a special day to go get ice cream. Casey's like, thank you for the invite.
It's like, my. I also love ice cream.
Yeah. He's like, sounds great. I'm going to come along. And Mike's like, gosh, I'm so sorry. I guess he's going with his grandma. Grandma didn't invite you. Grandma didn't invite you.
We would need a horse trailer.
Yes. And so Mike's just like, bye. And then next thing he knows.
Well, Mike calls Casey stupid. Like, you would need a horse trailer, dumbass. And then Casey is just so offended that Mike has called him stupid.
Oh, absolutely. To the point where it's like Mike ends up having to apologize.
Yeah.
In a way that's like he shouldn't have had to apologize.
No.
And it's just like, oh, I hate those moments in life. That's like one of my pet peeves in this world.
Yeah.
Is apologizing for something that I didn't do or it was a perceived infraction or something.
The interpretation was
off. And so then you have to like you take the high road and you apologize like, even when you're like,
sorry, I'm sorry. Well, yeah, you can always do the I'm sorry you interpreted it that way.
Yeah, but then it's like, oh, now I'm the complete asshole. So the worst thing ever happens in these kids' lives is that there was a picture of Casey taken at the birthday party because, slow news day. And you would have thought he won an election or I don't know. It was like Golary comes with a paper and she's excited. And she's like, guess what? The party was in the newspaper. And Casey's like, well, let me see that.
Yeah.
And it's just like, well, imagine that. There I am in a straw hat. Isn't it a great picture? You're like, sir.
I think the best is like when the kids are talking about reading the article in the party and they're like, skip that part. All I want to hear is about me.
This guy.
This narcissistic ass horse.
It's kind of amazing. So whatever, life goes on. And like sooner or later, Hollywood comes to call it.
And by Hollywood, we mean a high school drama production.
They're doing some kind of like theater production of some, I can't remember what it was, but it was like they needed nights and things like that. And so like, oh, we can get this horse to do it. And at first, like Mike's like, oh, I don't think he'd want to do that. And Casey's like, whoa, don't speak on my behalf. Yeah.
Like, fame, fortune, high school
there.
Parent audiences, I am in.
Yes, he's like, a king's royal horse? I might be willing to help out with that. Like, just like,
full delusion. Like, Jinx Monsoon perfume delusion.
It's
so good.
So amazing. So amazing. So anyway, they agree to let their horse go play the part. And again, Casey's ego just gets real big.
It was already big from the headline articles, but now it's wild and out with Nick Cannon.
So much so. Right before they go to do this like show, there's a little competition in town, a pet show.
Yeah.
And Casey, like Mike's so excited, like, okay, I have this horse. He's kind of extra. Maybe I can get a little something out of this.
Yeah.
And they go to this pet show. And first of all,
well, he asks for dark glasses in case he's recognized like he's fucking Jack Nicholson or something.
It's incredible. And so when they go, he's kind of acted a fool, but Casey's under the impression that Mike has entered as like Casey's pet.
Yes. Yeah.
Like Mike is the pet in the show.
Yeah. And Casey is here to show his boy as opposed to Mike. But he finds some Pekingese dogs.
Yes.
He's very unimpressed by the Pekingese dogs.
Yes.
I love Pekingese.
Who normally win, but not today.
Pekingese were my favorite breed growing up.
Really? They're so bouge.
My grandma had Pekingese and she also mixed them a lot with made peekapoos.
Oh, that's fun.
Half Pekingese, half poodles. And they're so silly. They're such little goober dogs. They're so fun.
I don't know if I've ever been around one.
They have like massive personalities. They're super wonderful. And so especially if you like breed them with something else so that they don't have like all the face problems. Like they're brachiocephalic dogs, so they have the squish noses. If you breed them with something like a poodle so that they get out of like some of the inbred, they are so funny. We had a half Shih Tzu, half Pekingese, a shitty peak.
A shitty peak.
And he was amazing. His name was Uno and he was a shit show. He was a little diva. I loved him so much. He would shove his ball under the couch and then bark at you to get it out because he knew you would throw it.
Oh, that's so cute.
He was super adorable.
I love freaking dogs like that.
Yeah, so I love Pekingese. Casey does not love Pekingese.
No. And come award time, Casey's given a wreath for most unusual pet. But when they get home, he's basically like, Mike, you won. You're the most unusual pet. Congratulations. He's like, don't you see there wasn't one other boy in the whole contest?
Yeah, exactly. You did so well.
You're it. You're doing
number one.
The next day, it's time for Casey to get picked up to go to stage to make his theatrical debut. And he's very much like, I'm going to be too busy for you now.
Maybe this is going to be new opportunities.
Yeah. He literally, though, is like, Mike, I just want to prepare you for the fact that I'm not going to have enough time for you anymore.
Brace yourself.
Because life is about to get different.
Very hectic for me as a star.
Yes. And I'm not going to have time to play. I just can't do that. Anyway, he's just, again, delusional.
Well, but he has to get in shape, right?
Oh my gosh, that's right. He decides to start training a la like Thor.
Yeah, he's
What's that
running
guy's name?
just up and Chris Hemsworth.
Yes.
He's just running up and down the road.
Yeah.
And
so much so that people like he's scaring the neighbors.
yeah, they're calling the cops and the SPCA. And finally, like their mom is like, "Hey, you have to get the horse back in the garage." And Casey's like, "No, I'm training like Rocky."
It's just so wild. Again, I do not know like where this lady got the ideas for this book, but it's just wild. Anyway, so it's like he just doesn't give a F. That's what I love. He does not care.
He's getting in shape. He's ready. He's ready for his debut.
And granted, he's running in the pajamas and the balloon and the hat and the sunglasses. Yeah. It's the full-on look still.
Mr. DeMille, I'm ready for my close-up. That is where we're at with Casey the horse.
It's like the neighbor fainted, which I just think it's amazing like how it's
the art's very good about this.
Yes, the art of the faint though, like back in the day and swooning. I'm just like, why was everybody fainting all the time in stories? Because
everything was so tight. All the corsets were so tight.
That makes sense. I guess I don't know.
But Casey's like really disappointed. He's like, you'd think I was like people would think I was like a dragon. The way that everyone's acting about me. I'm just working out here, okay?
I'm just a horse, guys. Just a horse running down the street. Nothing to see.
Just wait till you see how famous I'm going to become with my tight bod.
Oh my gosh. So the time has come for Casey to make his big entrance into the world, and the high school boys are going to pick him up. And Mike's like trying to like get Casey to realize this might not be as incredible as you're thinking it's going to be.
This is a high school play.
Yeah. The spotlight might not be on you. Like it's literally, you're going to walk on stage and walk out. And he's like, I hope you won't just be disappointed. And he's like, what is there to be disappointed about? I'm doing them a favor. Yeah. And it's just like, sir.
Full diva.
Full just all of the things. And so anyway, Casey gets picked up and he goes away. He actually like did a really good job on the stage.
Yeah, people clapped. People laughed.
He was regal, and
he had
did
comedic
tricks.
Timing.
Yes, all the things.
And then he wants to talk about it. He's like, "Did you see? Did you see the moment where I bowed down? Everyone clapped." And they're like, "Yeah, we saw that.
We were there."
But did you see? They clapped really hard. Yeah. We saw. But it was beautiful. I was there.
Yeah, I love it because they're like, I know, Casey, we were there. And he just kept going and it's like literally like Mike was getting a little tired of all this. And he's like, well, I'm glad you had a good time. I'm going to go play with my friends now. Yeah. And then of course, Casey's like, go ahead. You know, I gotta preen, get ready for the next thing.
And Mike actually has a good time while he like realizes how much fun he had with his friend.
Yeah,
I felt really bad.
He's like, I don't like this horse.
Who is this book for?
Well, and so Mike's kind of like, okay, I need to have a hard conversation with my folks and be like, I don't want the horse anymore, kind of thing. So come to find out though that there was a talent scout in town. Yeah. At the local play, and Casey's been scouted for the circus.
Yeah, he's gonna be a regal circus horse.
Yes. So before like Mike has to like break the news, Casey's like, guys,
I'm so sorry,
but I'm gonna have to leave you.
And they're like, what? No. Don't stop. Don't go.
I like it because he says like, he's like, oh yes. And like at this point, like Casey had been crying a little bit and saying goodbye. Yeah. Not because he was saying goodbye, but just because drama.
The drama of it all. It's giving Real Housewives.
Yes. He's like, I'll bet I'll be better than all the other horses they have.
And they're like, sure, Casey, go
great.
Get them.
Yep, great.
Go.
And so then a few days later he leaves. And I love the end of this book because Gloria and Mike are saying like, wow, we're really going to miss Casey and all that he did. And they are grasping for anything that they could be like, we're going to miss him because of XYZ. And they cannot. And they just look at each other and giggle and laugh and laugh and laugh.
Because there's nothing. There's nothing. They're just like, let him go.
Bye.
Bye,
Felicia.
Bye, Felicia.
Don't let the door hit you or the good Lord split you. Like, we're over it. Gee golly.
Gee whiz, Casey, don't leave.
Oh, shucks. I don't know. If you are looking, I loved this book. It's ridiculous.
Would you read this to a child, though? I would not.
I would read it to an older child so we could talk about, like, hey, when a friend, like, as
red flags,
red flags manipulation, like, hey, like, this isn't an appropriate thing to do, but it's a talking horse, so we're in a different realm.
Yeah.
But I freaking loved it.
It's very, I understand now, like, why you came into my office and drew a flow chart of Vanderpump Rules. Because this is like full on like Kardashian
drama.
Bravo TV networks. Like Andy Cohen might comment about this later.
Yeah.
And be like, oh, Casey, what were your experiences on the farm?
Listen, everybody loves a little narcissist horse. I mean, not a person, but a little narcissist
Only
horse.
while on TV, but not in their lives.
No, but this is fabulous. Like, again, I have no recollection of this story other than it makes me feel so happy. And it really did teach me a lot about life.
How to recognize red flags.
Yeah. How to manipulate to get somebody to do something you want them to do.
Just bash your head against the lawnmower a little bit.
Oh, I freaking loved it. I gave it like, I don't know, 7 out of 10 sugar cubes. It was fabulous. I feel like maybe you had a different experience.
I was like, whoa, the fuck is this narcissistic horse? The whole time I was like kind of enraged while reading it. It's funny talking about it with you, so I think you should read it with your friends about Casey, the narcissistic, self-absorbed, manipulative, gaslighting horse.
Yeah, it's great.
But the whole time I just kept being like, who's this book for? Like, the children to like learn about this shitty horse?
Yeah. Again, it didn't really teach like a lot of time kids, there's like a morality.
There's no morality lessons.
No it just is like, it is what it is.
Shitty horse is gonna shitty horse.
Yeah. Get down with it.
If they want to go to the circus, let them.
Yeah.
Don't hold them back.
Just so wild.
So I'm going to give it 1 out of 5 bottles of hoof polish.
Oh,
I feel like if hoof polish had been a thing, Casey would have been into it.
He would have been like, listen, y'all need to get 2nd, 3rd, 4th jobs.
Yeah.
Mowing lawns, and babysitting.
Buy me my Twinkle Toes brand hoof polish.
Absolutely.
You know that's a real thing, right?
I feel like I've seen a picture of you
received a bottle of it for my horse.
Oh my gosh. That's so on brand.
Yeah, so 1 out of 5 bottles of Twinkle Toes.
Yeah. Again, it was a real winner for me. It makes me elated to read this book. It's just because it invokes memories of my mom and just like that quality time, and
I think that's funny.
The giggles and all of that. But all of this definitely flew over my head as a kid.
Yeah.
But maybe not. Like I don't know. Maybe I'm the queen of manipulation because of this book.
1, not true at all.
Yeah.
2, I think this is just why you like reality TV.
It's just so good. I love. As I was reading this book, actually, I was like, I really love personality flaws. Like personality. Like, I don't want to say disorders because that's a little intense, but I kind of into it, like when it comes to fictional characters just being unhinged.
He is absolutely. Casey the horse is unhinged entirely.
I'm here for it.
Yeah.
So.
I still really do like the side-eye picture of him like judging the shit out of Gloria.
It's my favorite.
He's like, oh, what? You're going to come at me with your little rolled down socks?
Oh, so good. So good. So next month, we have a treat. We have a special guest.
Oh, yeah.
And a new book. Which do you want to share which book we're reading?
We are reading Of Mice and Men.
Which I have not read since like sophomore year of high school.
I've never read it.
Oh.
I read other Steinbeck books.
Okay.
I've only read East of Eden and Grapes of Wrath. I've never read Of Mice and Men.
I remember I have lots of memories of this book, so I'm excited to see if they hold true or if I'm like terrified. Because we've revisited some books that I'm like, ooh.
Yeah, Angus Thongs was like that. I know Boyana, we traditionally do not talk about the books.
Yes.
But our guest, Boyana, has commented, oh man, that's depressing. How are we going to laugh about this?
And I'm like, don't worry. We got cocktails.
We got cocktails and we got jokes.
Yeah, we got jokes. I mean, if we can make a joke about a narcissistic horse with a extreme personality disorder and be like, it's fine. We can make this work too.
Side-eye. If you're enjoying Boozy Book Reports and would like to support the show, you can share episodes with your friends and family, follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Boozy Book Reports, or leave us a positive review and rating. All of those things help us grow. Our theme music was created by the Finley Ghost. Check out their latest album now. Thank you and happy reading.